Yo, what's up, people? It's your boy, I'm Chris the Dom One, and I am back with another video. Haven't done one of these videos, the Truth Behind series, in a minute. But I'm going to tell you guys what's going on and what's transpiring with Damian Dash and Lee Daniels. All right, now we all know Lee Daniels, writer, director, Precious, Empire, the Butler, just to name a few. And Damian Dash is a hip-hop mogul or hip-hop icon. Damian Dash put a lot of people in the biz, okay? Promotion-wise, even putting money up front for them, okay? For them to succeed. Now, social media, they get mad. When we talk about Damian Dash, the first thing people mention is his icy relationship with Jay-Z, and how ultimately it was Damian Dash's fault why these two guys couldn't continue the foundation of Rockefeller, the empire. Egos were involved, and Damian Dash, who used to be okay being in the backstage, now he wants to be out in the spotlight, being featured in a lot of Jay-Z's videos, taking a lot of credit for stuff that when you're talking about music-wise didn't materialize, okay? And ultimately there's friction between those two. And this video is not going to be about him and Jay-Z, what could have been, okay? But both of them are doing fairly well. Jay-Z is a mogul onto himself, okay? And he's writing his own path. And Damian Dash is still a mogul. He's still an influencer out, in the hip-hop streets. He's still a hustler. And he's still backing a lot of and supporting a lot of people so they can get out in the spotlight, and this is one of these situations, one of these situations with Lee Daniels. All right, now it was supposed to be where Lee Daniels, Damian Dash fronted Lee Daniels $2 million to help him kickstart him, so to say, in the film industry. And Lee Daniels promised Damian Dash that he was going to be an investor of some sort, with Precious, with either the Butler or Empire. And he promised him he was going to do that for him. And Lee Daniels never did that. Lee Daniels, once he got famous, once he got successful, didn't even pay back Damian Dash, didn't even acknowledge Damian Dash, okay? And Damian Dash had to take him low-key to court, okay? Now, all of this, why is it blown up now, is because Damian Dash, Lee Daniels was at a concert, a Diana Ross concert, and Damian Dash had to G-check him. Now, I know there's going to be a lot of people that are not familiar with the streets. What's a G-check, okay? What's a G-check, Chris? Okay, I'm allow a brother to explain. A G-check is a gangster, an original gangster, an OG gangster, a triple OG gangster, informing someone that there are codes and there are rules and levels to this, okay? And normally when a G-check happens, it has something to do with money, owing an individual money. So that's what a G-check is. Now, a lot of people think a G-check is a shakedown. It can turn into a shakedown. And sometimes a G-check, somebody loses their life in a G-check, it can turn that way as well. But they was at a Diana Ross concert, and in the backgrounds of Reach Out and Touch Somebody's Hand, all that peace and love gumbo that was sprinkled into this concert, Damian Dash had a intense conversation with Lee Daniels. Now, it wasn't an out of control conversation. Damian Dash was very respectful to Lee Daniels, but Lee Daniels, it's obvious that Lee Daniels did not see this, happening, as it started to ravel and happen. Okay. So Damian Dash G-checked Lee Daniels at a Diana Ross concert, informing him like, hey man, where's my money? Where's my money? I fronted you all this money as a black man, and I expect for you to give me my money. Okay. And in the midst of this conversation, Lee Daniels said, basically acknowledged that he owed Damian Dash money, and he was going to repay him by putting him in his next film project. Okay. Now, Damian Dash is a smart individual. Okay. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And Damian Dash said, no, I don't want to be featured in no film project. I know how that materialized. You're just going to bounce on me again. And now I'm not in the film project. Plus I don't have the money. I just want my money. Damian Dash just wants his money, and then you go your way and I go my way. Now, Lee Daniels is going to probably give him this money. Lee Daniels is already, he's not technically in hot water, but a lot of people are not feeling Lee Daniels a certain type of way. And this could, you can lose your credibility in the streets when you got, A-list African-American actors and actresses. You want to still do business with them. The one thing you don't want to have is a blemish or a stain in your credibility. And trust issues are creeping up when you're trying to delegate and do business with the A-list talent out there. And they're going like, yo, wait a minute. If you're going to finagle Damian Dash out of $2 million, I mean, you can probably do that to me. Okay. So Lee Daniels is probably going to pay him his $2 million on that perspective, not because of the principle, not because he got shooken down in a G check, but he's probably going to do that because look, this, if this spirals on and on and on, then everything that Monique said about him, that he's a snake, he can't be trusted, that's also going to creep up. Now you're going to give her more energy to talk further about you, and she's going to have a "see I told you so" moment in one of her concerts or videos. So it's best to quietly take care of this. $2 million is not a lot of money to Lee Daniels. Lee Daniels has made a lot of money. Okay. So, of course, he's going to pay Damian Dash because he wants this to go away real fast and real quick. Now, I know, attitudes and emotion changes when you're in a different environment, and probably when he gets home and he talks to his lawyers, his team of lawyers, they're probably going to say, hey, look, technically, we don't have to pay him. We're not obligated to pay him. If he wants to sue us, he can sue us. We can just keep this in court for, decades. And he may not ever, he's not going to ever see a penny of this $2 million. And then, Damian Dash is a businessman. He can't waste more energy and more money on trying to recoup this $2 million that Lee Daniels owe him. And then eventually he's just going to say, you know what, forget it. Okay. We feel like our money is a lot longer and stronger than Damian Dash money. But, I think Lee Daniels and there's probably going to be one or two individuals in that group that's going to give Lee Daniels the best advice. It's probably going to say, you know what, let's just pay him the $2 million. The trouble is not worth $2 million. You know, let's lose money. Let's lose this small money now, and the embarrassment and the shame now. Let's just, you know, lose that for now momentarily, instead of, you know, allowing this to creep further into years. Okay, you know, our credibility is on the line. All right, and it's not just the A-list actors and actresses in the African American community, but A-listers of all communities are looking at this, and they're looking at you side-eye going, well, yo, you know, if he's going to finagle Damian Dash out of $2 million, he's going to try to attempt to do this to us as well. So it's best for us to not do business with Lee Daniels. All right. So that's what's going on between Damian Dash and Lee Daniels. You know, Damian Dash has done a lot of things that I disagree with, in hip hop, just being a mogul, just being himself, that I can look at and say, I just don't agree with what you said or what you did on that occasion. But in this occasion, you got to treat every occasion, every event with anyone differently. And you have to have a different perspective of that person. You know, here he is totally right. You owe him this money. All right. He wants his money and he needs cash now. Dial JT Wimford, 80C7 cash now. 80C7 cash now. You know, but seriously, he owes him this money, and Lee Daniels is probably going to give him this money so he can just, you know, get away from this. But guys, tell me what you think. Rate, comment, subscribe. It's your boy. I'm Chris the Don One, and I am Alsha.